And welcome back to Halifax Northbridge Leisure Centre here at Men's European Qualifier. And the voice you are hearing right now is Roller Polar Bear, bringing you this next game, lining up Barrow Infernos and the Nottingham Super Smash Brollers. Joining me on this live stream experience is Holy Sheet.
Hello Bear, you avid listeners of the Juniors game will have heard my voice already. So it's nice to be back here. We're back into tournament play. This is the penultimate game. Dun 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 dun. Last two games to go. As said, we will see the Nottingham Roller Derby's Super Smash Brollers in blue. Infernos Roller Derby's Barrow Infernos in orange.
Yes, we will. And running through the roster for Barrow Infernos, we have 01 Duke of York, 027 Nomad, 117 Chob, 1759 Beermat, 2020 Optical Zoom, 28 is Jardine, 289 is Dynamo, 32 is Vash, 586 is Speedy Gonzalez, 66 is Scandalous, 69 is Princess Leia, 808 is Defcon John, 84 is Roseblade, and 999 Crush Ya to Hell.
And for this game's Nottingham Roller Derby roster, we see 101 Gruff, 1015 Coco, number 107 Sean Shank Redemption, number 1337 Painful Algorithm, number 15 Tron, number 180 The Colonel, number 1962 Beta Parker, number 399 Dr. Robloknik, number 43 Fenin, number 5 Robert Quadriguez, number 558 Circle Jerk, number 614 Special K, 64 Gentle, and number 97 Larkin About.
Yes, and this is for the 4th and 5th place in men's European qualifier. So whoever loses this ends up, unfortunately, at the bottom of the pile in this round robin tournament. We are also joined by our producer, Very Cherry.
Hi.
All right, that's enough.
Hello.
No, stop it now. Who will be helping us with stats and other things of that nature. So we are a good 90 seconds away from getting this game underway. Don't forget, we still have another game after this penultimate game. We have Lincolnshire Rolling Thunder lined up against Tynan Fear for the 1st and 2nd place.
Ooh, exciting.
Yes, there is medals to be won.
I've seen them.
I've won them.
All of them.
Well, oh no. So we haven't done anything wrong.
Sorry, we're just being pointed to our Facebook Live. Don't forget, all of our interviews are taking place on the Manchester Roller Derby Facebook page. Currently, the most recent one is the Juniors interview, which has been titled "Players That Are Better Than Fish."
They couldn't all fit them in the bar, apparently. Yeah, because, you know, let's be honest, Fish just talks about them two jams he did that one time at the World Cup, and that's really it. I mean, come on. He even got taken off track by a bear yesterday, so.
So the Juniors game is fantastic, but as we said, we're back into the tournament gameplay. Lining up now for the first jam, we're going to see number 69 Princess in that slightly cropped top, facing off against 101 Gruff.
Yes, you are. Princess Leia fouled out of the last game as well, but possibly the rest helped because it did a lot of 1 and 2 jamming. So it was a heavy game for the boys from Barrow. And away we go into this first jam. Gruff trying to take the outside, but getting taken back by Jardimon. Duke of York picking up the first penalty in the first jam. Gruff pushing out front and gets past and is your lead. Princess Leia just being held at the back of this wall. Princess Leia hits the outside, spins away from Coco, but now Super Smash Brollers great reforming, getting right down at the front and holding Princess Leia as Gruff comes through for 5 points. Excellent start from Super Smash Brollers.
Very strong start from the blue team. 5 points clocked up on the board. Some really good recycling as well. Princess Leia having to be stretched back behind that jammer line. Only really made it as far as turn 2 by the end of the jam.
Yeah, great reforming at the front. You know, very good defensive start. We're now looking at Nomad and Dr. Robloknik lining up into this next jam 5-second hand is up as we get ready to dance away on the slick, quick jam line.
Barrow Infernos setting up at the back. Roseblade allowing them to settle in. A slight nick around the inside line for Dr. Robloknik, now pushing up against the Barrow wall at the front, and it's the Smash Brollers at the back holding back Roseblade, sorry, Nomad. Nomad with a hop skippity jump around that inside line, breaking for lead. Lead now, Barrow Infernos.
Yeah, Nomad looking to pick up some points. Duke of York now reforming. All right at the front is Barrow Infernos. Offensive coming in from Circle Jack, but nothing forthcoming for Dr. Robloknik. Nomad being recycled back past turn 3. Nomad tries the leap. It doesn't pay off. Great defensive work from Smash Brawlers again, but Barrow holding Dr. Robloknik still as we go the full lap of this flat track, and Dr. Robloknik just breaks out.
Have a good break there. It gives time for the Smash Brollers as well to reset, drop back into that defensive stance. A little bit of space at the front. Nomad is trying to push through, does get through, calls it. Did he pick up all of those points? He did. 4 extra points now. 4 points for Barrow. Still 5 for the Smash Brollers. Let's have a look one more time at that jump. Not quite landing in, taken down to the ground. So a good defense there by the Smash Brollers.
Absolutely. Now we got John Demon lining up against Sean Shank Redemption. As we're looking at a pivot line start. One in the penalty box for Duke of York, Barrow. Shot Demon just trying to get past the hips and does so. Lead goes to Barrow within seconds of this jam starting. Sean Shank Redemption still being held back by 2 wall, now a free wall. Offense coming in from Coco. And Sean Shank Redemption is out. 4 points being picked up by Jar Demon as we roll into the third corner. Coco being taken off track as Sean Shank Redemption just gets taken off on the inside by Dynamo and recycled all the way back. Jar Demon coming through, picking up the 5 points. And now Smash Brawlers just running into a little bit above her, trying to break out Sean Shank Redemption. Good jump from Barrow so far. Jar Demon takes the floor but gets back up, and it's a good jump from Barrow. Wouldn't you agree, Holly?
I do indeed. It's some really solid work here by both sides. Oh, strong hits here from the Barrow Inferno side. So that's initial jam Super Smash Brawlers had. Barrow seemed to have sort of shaken it off within the next jam, and now, well, I hate to say it, but on fire.
Yeah, really are, and really taking apart Smash Brawlers here in this jam. Still 30 seconds left to roll as Jar Demon just gets taken off on the inside, but Jammer trouble as Sean Shank Redemption rolls into Peter Parker, but Coco gets to recycle onto Jar Demon, and Dynamo gets to recycle on Sean Shank Redemption. Both jammers in the pack trying to break on through. Duke of York not wasting any time. Big hit.
It was a reverse shoulder hit as well. Really well placed, really well timed. That's so close to getting to the opponent's head, so to be able to land that one cleanly and so effectively as well. 7 points there for the Super Smash Brawlers, 23. Let's have a look one more time at that jump through. Beautiful work there by Jardine. A 23 point for Jardine, the Barrow Infernos, bringing them up to 27 points. They're now 15 points ahead of Super Smash Brawlers.
A very quick turnaround.
Very quick turnover. Princess now up against Gruff, same as the initial first jam, but this time it goes in Princess's favor.
Yeah, and Princess really picking up the speed, but Gruff hits that inside. Great low center of gravity from Gruff. Very difficult to move off track, but Princess Leia rolling the shoulders to the left and darting to the right and breaking through the pack. Gruff, meanwhile, working through the 2 blockers of Barrow, takes 2 hits and just carries on.
Barely a pause to even think about slowing down. Gruff just shouldered on through. Oh, very sneaky at the end. How many points? How many points did he get? No points. Oh, 0 for Gruff. 1 extra point there for Barrow Inferno's Princess, bringing his total in that jam up to 5.
Yeah, 32 now, playing 16. So it is a 16-point spread. Dr. Robloknik and Nomad lining up into this next jam. Very important. Smash Brawlers got some points on that jam just to try and get some momentum back going.
Definitely. Definitely. And again, it was only a 1 point advantage to Barrow in that previous jam.
So Dr. Oblotnik and Nomad duking it out. Gentle just taking off Nomad, going back to the pivot line, and Dr. Oblotnik, there goes your lead, Super Smash Brollers. Nomad also out of the pack, just hop, skip, and a jump on the inside. Dr. Oblotnik coming up against a couple of blockers of Barrow, shuts the jam down.
Ooh, gets 3 points. We creep it back a little bit closer. 13 points now between the two teams.
32-19.
Got 23 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this game. It does look like Super Smash Bros. Are sticking with their 3 jammer rotation.
Yeah, Barrow, jammer rotation, I think it pretty much the same. I think it's Jardine, Nomad, and Princess Leia at this point in time. But in the last game, everybody barring Chob jammed.
And Chob has jammed yesterday in this tournament. So does that mean everybody for Barrow has actually jammed this weekend?
That's true, yeah.
Fantastic work. It's great to see people being able to be so versatile.
Like me. So, Jar Demon.
Well, you have announced and jammed and blocked Bear this weekend. Roller Polar Bear, my co-announcer, having taken part in the exhibition game yesterday, jamming against New World Order.
Yeah, it was great. So, Jar Demon getting taken off on the outside and recycle back.
We have had a star pass from the Super Smash Bros. And it is now the Colonel jamming. He's taken a star pass previously in this game already. Not able to pick up any points.
No points. 6 points picked up by the Infernos. 38 plays at 19. Just looking at a replay now of the nice footwork from Jar Demon, skipping through and coming through the pack. So Barrow carrying on that momentum at this time, but playing with a shorter roster than the Smash Brawlers. And we saw how difficult that was for them in their previous game against Tyne and Fear. So it looks like we've got an official timeout here. Just don't forget, everyone, all the volunteers this weekend are wearing Roller Derby City tops. A big thank you to the amazing folks at Roller Derby City, providing gorgeous officials and volunteers with the t-shirts. If you can see these t-shirts, for real, they look fantastic. We've got some tops as well from Roller Derby City, and they are great. Holly's wearing hers. Mine is a little bit snug until I get myself back to the gym. Gruff and Princess Leia line up to this next jam, and Princess Leia picking up the speed, getting some attention off Tron. Taken off track, but bounces right back into play. Fennin picking up the penalty on the way to the penalty box as Princess Leia comes through.
It's 2 blockers now for the Super Smash Bros. Making their way to the penalty box.
Tron going for a sit down. So Princess Leia in charge of the jam and shuts it down before Gruff can pick up any points. 42 playing 19 with 21 minutes of this first period left to play. So Super Smash Brawlers just 23 point spread at this time in favor of Barrow. Quite a low scoring game from some of the games we have had so far this weekend. We're about to dance right back into the action. Nomad and Dr. Oblotnik. Oh, Nomad just spins away from Special K and picks up your lead jammer. Dr. Oblotnik now coming up against the 4 blockers of Barrow. Special K, great offense, able to open up the inside and get Dr. Oblotnik through. Meanwhile, Gentle just tries to take Nomad off, but that's left to Special K, who does so. As Dr. Oblotnik comes through, skips past, and does so successfully, picks up 4 points. As does Nomad. Dr. Oblotnik and Nomad out picking up points, 4 apiece so far in this jam.
Lovely leap there by Nomad, very well known for that inside line leap. Able to do it on the entry, midpoint or exit of the apex.
Really is. The agility wise of Nomad has been fantastic this weekend.
Let's have one more look.
Great work. Taking a couple of blockers with him as well. Come with me.
That's a bonus. Added bonus.
I did say if a couple of jammers leap at the same time and if they both land on each other like a piggyback, it's not a penalty apparently.
I think you'll find it might well
No,
be.
it's not. I checked. I'm right. Jar Demon coming up against Shawshank Redemption is the next jam. Jar Demon with the lead.
Very good work there, just powering through. Kept his feet moving, but also kept his shoulders pressed up against the opposition members, so they had no chance of moving him out of the way. Good work there by Jardine.
Yeah, absolutely. A big mainstay for the Barrow Infernos as it comes through and now picks up 5 points. Shawshank Redemption not finding it so easy out there. Dynamo just getting taken off with the offense from Super Smash Brawlers. Special Gate trying to open up the gaps. Jar Demon evading the big hits of Super Smash Brawlers and coming through as they look to keep building up this point spread.
$60 now for Barrow after a 10-point jam. Smash Brawlers held on 24. We've got 18.5 minutes remaining in this period.
Yeah, Jardine was lead, but the jam got actually called off because Shawshank Redemption actually seems to have taken a little bit of contact into the facial area and just a little bit of a nosebleed. So Shawshank Redemption just getting some medical attention at this time. Nothing too serious, just a bit of a nosebleed. And the referees are just making sure the track is safe before we get back into the action. And just a big thank you if you enjoyed the live stream this weekend. Is brought to you by the fabulous folks at Derby Duck. I have been fortunate enough to be involved with Derby Duck for several years on the old announcing, from Sweden to Manchester, now to Halifax. Derby Duck.
Barrow Infernos having picked up lead jammer 6 times. Nottingham only the 1 time so far.
We've got made up stats. So just a big thanks to the organisers of this weekend, Manchester Roller Derby, who have been fantastic, who have hosted this event, the volunteers coming from far and wide, and the league providing us with so much hospitality. So a big thank you to them.
Yes, thank you. We've been fed, we've been looked after.
Yep. It really has been an Excelsior tournament so far. So 60 plays, 24, 36-point spread in favour of Barrow. Princess Leia coming up against Gruff. Gruff just taking a couple of seconds to reset, and away they go. Princess Leia pretty much stopped dead in the tracks and now having to push up hard. Gruff, meanwhile, gets taken off on the inside and recycled back by Speedy. And Princess Leia skips out and is lead. Great footwork from Princess Leia.
Great footwork, but also did you see the tactical play there? The offense on the inside wasn't able to create any space, so Princess Leia just literally pushed and then moved to the opposition side to spread that wall apart, so he ended up facing off just against the one Smash Brawler.
Yeah, Barrow Infernos just trying to take it up a level and doing so, picking up 4 points to Smash Brawlers 0. So 64 plays, 24. We are at the 40-point spread.
Now on the slick, not just quick jammer line, we're going to see Nomad for Barrow take on Dr. Robloknik for the Smash Brawlers. 4 blockers apiece, empty penalty box. Roseblade going in for some early offensive play, but slightly mistimed as Smash Brawlers were able to lock back down and knock Nomad, who is now on a Roller Derby City power jam.
Yeah, cut track for Dr. Robloknik, lead jam for Nomad, and away we go into this jam. Super Smash Brawlers wall being taken apart now. 2 at the back, 2 at the front. Barrow very much in control. Oh, Nomad dipping it low and being able just to get back into play. Great work from Nomad, so versatile and so flexible when out on track.
Yeah, making use of the entire width of the track, differences in speed, as we can see there. Differences in edging and of course differences in height with those jumps and getting low, using all the tools in the jammer toolbox.
Yeah, leaving the blockers really just grasping at air just then.
But you're never sure what he's going to do.
No,
he's that versatile.
In the last game he pulled out a deck of cards and just did a couple of card tricks on the way around. You know.
Versatile.
It's a cat. Anyway, Jar Demon facing up against the Kennel. Just looking at a replay now of the great versatility of Nomad. And we're back into the action. 78 plays 24. 15 minutes left of this first half. And Jardine and the Colonel jamming for the first time today.
Well, the Colonel's taken a couple of star passes.
Yeah, but it's like the real jam, you know. A star pass doesn't count.
Jardine with that quick race up the outer line, able to pick up lead jammer very swiftly. The Colonel now trying to push against that Barrow 3-wall, who have locked down very solid. Even despite taking knocks down, they reform very quickly.
And Jardine through for the 4 points. Colonel still being held in that pack.
The start is off for the Smash Brollers, but it's a run through whilst distracted, and the Colonel is now broken free on his initial pass.
Jardine meanwhile coming through on the second pass. Checking in with the bench and shuts the jam down. Good work from Jardine, just looks across at the bench. Do you want me to call it? A little nod? Yeah, why not?
Yep, not looking for the ridiculously high amount in these jams, just making sure they keep control over the Smash Brollers.
Yeah, and which they are doing very well at this time. Princess Leia now coming up against Gruff.
We're both having a little bit, I think they're having a little bit of a joke about Princess Leia's top, perhaps.
It's been getting smaller every time.
It has.
By the time it's the end, it'll just shrunk so much, it'll be choking him.
Princess Leia coming up to a 4-wall of Smash Brollers with Roseblade up at the front. Meantime, Gruff powering through that 3-wall at the back, just comes onto the shoulder of Roseblade to slow him down, but it's a beautiful jump spin on the inside.
Not only low center of gravity, but the agility to pull that off in a very short space of time to actually have that momentum was brilliant from Gruff. And now Gruff in charge of this jam, but Princess Leia really hunting down Gruff and hunting down the Smash Brawlers, flying through on the outside. Fennin with the contact on Princess Leia. Fennin looked very happy about that as well at the end. 3 points picked up to Barrow's 0. 87 plays, 27, 60-point spread. Remember, kids, maths is fun. And Dr. Oblotnik and Nomad lining up into this next jam.
So the Smash Brollers will want to keep this momentum. That's their first lead in 7 jams. So see if they can keep that rolling forwards. Keeping you rolling forwards will be Roller Derby City. Check them out for all of your merchandise needs.
Nicely done there. So Nomad trying to skip through on the outside. Gentle just shutting it down, getting the recycle. Dr. Oblotnik then tries the same route. That also gets shut down, but Nomad now sees back the inside. Great offense from Dynamo, opening up the inside, and away we go. Dr. Oblotnik with Dynamo to deal with.
Oh.
Couple of Barrow skaters just hitting the deck momentarily. And Dr. Oblotnik is through.
Well, we're down to just one, for that moment in time, we were down to just one blocker on for Barrow, but Nomad's still able to push by regardless without having any assistance from his own team at that point. They're now up to 2, and that's a good knockout on Dr. Oblotnik. Nomad is right at the back of the pack, but Dr. Oblotnik is recycling back around. Nomad being lead jammer.
Yeah, Nomad coming through the 5 points. Dr. Oblotnik, great offense coming through for this match. Brawlers, 4 points picked up by Dr. Oblotnik. Nomad just being taken through on the outside. Circle jerk, getting the recycle all the way back, going into turn 2.
I am surprised that Barrow are letting this run. They are in control, but we are now just 1 point ahead of the Super Smash Brawlers as it goes in. With an additional 2 points here taken at the end.
Do you think they were just looking to make sure the blockers were released? The blockers were released, and then maybe they just kind of they were just seeing if Dr. Oblotnik is going to get held at the back, so maybe try and get one more pass better, and it just didn't pay off.
It's a very good tactical choice, but Dr. Oblotnik, very strong jammer. Very strong jammer. You've already seen him sneak past a couple of times, so I'd probably personally be wanting to shut that down. And start the next jam maybe with 3 blockers and 1 waiting to be released from the penalty box rather than giving up the points.
Yeah, we're looking at 98-35 split, so the game is still very much alive as we've got Peter Parker lining up to jam against Jardine. There goes Jardine with the lead. So Super Smash Bros. Just changing their jammer lineup a little bit, putting Peter Parker in.
Yeah. Whereas Barrow fielding their turnover of jammers as they've used throughout this tournament. That pack slides towards turn number 2. Peter Parker almost out, but knocked to the outer field and now being recycled back. Space at the front, but Jardine has gotten past all bar 1. Colonel trying to slow him down, but Jardine able to dodge around. And that's a second scoring pass for Barrow.
Yeah, points on the board now really being picked up for Barrow. Broken through the century with 10 minutes and a few seconds left of this first period to play. Peter Parker just trying to find it inside and does so. Gets past the hips of Dynamo. That's gone wrong. Jardine gets past the hips of the Colonel. Jam comes to an end.
9 points for Barrow, bringing them to 107 points against the Smash Brollers 35. Let's have another look at that run around by the Colonel. There's the escape. Good work to just slide in shoulder to shoulder, use that kinetic energy to stay on track and push forwards. We're going to see Princess face off against Gruff. These two have come up against each other a couple of times in this game already. Princess finds that space on the inside line. Smash Brollers were fielded to the outer side of the track, but Gruff just running through, almost demolishing Rosebay. Rosebay just down a fraction low enough to stop that happening. Oh my goodness, the power just came through. Roseblade taken down to the ground, and Princess Leia goes around the melee, says, I want nothing to do with any of that, I'm keeping away from it.
He does so as well. Tron came through, some big hits being dealt out. Gruff picking up a 4 rounds penalty. Roseblade, meanwhile, just bringing themselves back on track in this Roller Derby City Power Jam.
Duke of York off track, guiding Princess back onto the track to make sure no penalty picked up by Barrow, because it is their Roller Derby City Power Jam.
And it's still going to be their Power Jam as we roll into this next jam. Princess Leia picking up a 9-point jam. 116 plays at 35. As we're looking at a brief replay. Princess Leia, the quick 1 foot, and then powering out and picking up the points coming out of turn 2. So pivot line start, Holly, as we roll into this Roller Derby City Power Jam.
It is indeed. Nomad fielded. Barrow with all 4 blockers on track, but so have the Super Smash Brollers. Nomad now comes up against that 2-wall at the front, now reinforced to a 3-wall, but Chob's in there trying to break that wall apart, and that does split off 2 players at the front, but they cannot hold back Nomad.
Now Barrow as well, not fielding any pivots. It seems to have just been a little bit forgotten in the communication. So just the 4 blockers out on track at this time, so no star pass can be engaged as Nomad gets taken off by Gentle.
Now, thinking back about the previous games, Nomad has stashed the star a number of times, but I'm not entirely sure he's passed the star. So he may not be wanting or needing that tactic.
No.
Certainly not having lead jammer right now. An illegal hit being issued at the very end of that jam. And that's going to go to the Duke of York.
Yeah, Duke of York going for a little bit of a sit down. 1-2-4 plays 35, the 8-point jam. 7.5 minutes left to play here in this penultimate game here at Men's European Qualifier in glorious Halifax. Jardine lining up against Dr. Roblotnik.
And Barrow Infernos reverse back to hold in Dr. Roblotnik and give Jardine space at the front, but a really decent hit, and that pull back now by Coco. Coco also knocked off track, but Jardine already being returned behind the jammer line from in front of the pivot line.
Couple of bodies just hitting the deck as Jardine gets down low, skips through, picks up lead, taking nearly 25 seconds for that to happen. Dr. Roblotnik just being held at the back by Dynamo. Now Speedy. Cover just ended momentarily. Great jump by Jardine. 5 points picked up as Dr. Roblotnik is out of the pack.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tussle, but Dr. Roblotnik has fought his way through. Is now around on a scoring pass, but Jardine's already picked up a second scoring pass, and it looks like they might run this one with the trouble Dr. Roblotnik had on that first pass. Oh, but a little bit of offensive play there. Lovely work, and that has come from Peter Parker to clear the space, and that is now points on the board for the Smash Brollers.
Yeah, Jardine just skipping away at the end, coming out of the turn 1 and tapping the hips. So 13-4 jam in favour of Barrow.
Yeah, that run did work in their favour. They had 2 additional scoring passes. Let's have a look at one of those scoring passes now. Just holding off that knock down to the ground, and then lovely dip around to the outside. Barrow Inferno is now 98 points ahead of Super Smash Brollers, and we're just under 6 minutes remaining in this half.
And it's larking about, jamming for the first time today in this game, up against Princess Leia. So Smash Brawlers really changing it up a little bit, larking about, nearly finding the gaps. But gets it shut down, and Nomad gets recycled back. Larking about, though, is running to penalty trouble. That's a cutting track. So a Roller Derby City Power Jam goes to Princess Leia and the Barrow Infernos. Could they break this 100-point differential? We're going to find out.
Gentle there, just fielding Princess side to side and slowing him down whilst he waited for the remainder of the pack to catch up. But Princess Leia, such an agile jammer, able to use, again, similar to Nomad, able to use all the 3D jamming styles, using height, using the width of the track. And that's Nomad actually on there as the pivot, as a backup. So
they're not short at this point in time for jammers, are they, really? So Princess Leia, quick recycle back. As Larking About is out of the penalty box and trying to break on through to the other side. Barrow having to deal with some quick offense. Penalties going to Chop. Chop going for a sit down. Princess Leia stops the jam. And just the 3 points picked up from Princess. Good penalty kill by the Super Smash Brawlers.
Really good penalty kill. I could see Fenin with a smile on her face when she comes back to the bench.
She's always smiling when she's on track.
Smiling particularly so for the effective defense that Super Smash Bros. were fielding out there. So the first time jamming for number 8 for Roseblade for the Barrow Infernos. It's going to be up against Circle Jerk, who's also jamming for the first time in this game.
I wonder if they're just trying to give the jammers a bit of a rest. I wonder if it's just been a little bit fraught out there. Energy levels may not be what they was at the beginning of this tournament, so they might just be revolving the jammers a little bit, trying to make sure that they stay ready for this second period, which could be crucial if they want to stay in this game. It's a 101 point difference right now as Roseblade comes through and picks at the 4 points. Great call off at the end, coming in backwards.
We've done a bit of retroactive maths. Barrow Infernos picking up 18 leads out of the 20 jams, with Nottingham only picking up 2. And the power jams, we've only had 2, and they've both been in favour of Barrow. So that is quite reflective in the score. Sorry, Barrow. It is quite reflective, those stats, showing that when Nottingham do get the lead, they are able to control the game more. Oh my goodness!
Great work from Jardim, and yet again, just getting the contact, getting airborne, but staying in bounds, making sure everything lands on the track appropriately.
And still attached to his physical person as well.
Meanwhile, Shawshank Redemption takes a hit to the floor by Chop, but gets back up on Adam. 5 points being picked up by Jardim. Shawshank Redemption dealing with 2 blockers of Barrow now. Shawshank Redemption staying in bounds, pushing up hard. Now Dynamo's getting involved, taking the star off. Now pushing up hard. The Colonel is right at the back, so no star pass at this point. The Jardim hits the inside, comes through for 5 points. Quick takeoff. And down goes the Colonel. I think the Colonel's in the penalty box.
Colonel is in the penalty box. That jam comes to an end. 10 points picked up by Barrow Infernos, putting them on 154 points over Nottingham's 39. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining in this period. There's still the second half of this game to go. Plenty of time for both teams to rack up a few more points. We're going to take a quick official timeout.
Yes, and just to tell you about the fabulous things we've had here, and a big thanks to all the medics that have helped out this weekend, who have been here ever present, keeping not just the skaters safe, but all the lovely officials and everyone here in the crowd here at men's European qualifiers. And don't forget, a big thank you to Roller Derby City, who have provided the volunteer crew, the officials. As you can see now, Joe Kerr sporting his fabulous Roller Derby City official top, looking ever so Excelsior as usual. So a big thank you to Roller Derby City, and also a big thank you to everyone who've tuned in at home to watch this great event. You've all been fabulous listeners and viewers.
Yeah, I haven't got the stats of where people are viewing from, but we have had payments in euros and American dollars, so it does sound like we are broadcasting globally. Thank you all for tuning in, MEQ 2018.
Thank you indeed. Princess Leia, meanwhile, coming up against Gruff, but it's Princess Leia who picks up the lead for Barrow Infernos. Possibly could be the last jam of this first period, as Gruff is taken all the way back over the 10-1. And now coming back into the mix of the 4 blockers of Barrow Infernos. Princess Leia, meanwhile, takes the outside, spins past Robert Rodriguez and picks up the 5 points.
What I really like about this game at the moment is our period clock is exactly 30 seconds lower than our jam clock. A cutting penalty now being issued onto Gruff.
So Roller Derby City power jam, big hit by the Colonel, taking Princess Leia down. Princess Leia shuts the jam down, so it looks like we will have time for one more jam, and it will be a Roller Derby City power jam for the Barrow Infernos, and it looks like it's Roseblade. I believe has only jammed 2 times in this first period, and has picked up points every time they have jammed. So looking at a pivot line start, we've seen many of those in this first half. 163 plays 39, a superb first half from Barrow Infernos. As Super Smash Brollers just look to try and shut them down, but Roseblade picks up lead. Circlejack trying to take off Roseblade. Big hit. But a forearm penalty going to Circlejack. But Roseblade picks up a penalty as well, out of bounds. So Power Jam swings towards the Super Smash Brawlers as we have 3 blockers on track. A piece for SSB and the Barrow Infernos. Meanwhile, Gruff gets down low, takes the contact and carries on, and now begins a scoring run for the Super Smash Brawlers. Really need some points on the board at the end of this first period. Now they get the offense from the boys in blue as Gruff spins away from the contact and picks up the full 5 points for Super Smash Brawlers. Roseblade, meanwhile, dips through 2 of the SSB and is through to the other side. Gruff gets taken off on the outside. Roseblade a hop, skip and a jump.
We have lost all time on our period clock.
Chob's going for another sit down the penalty box. 4th penalty so far in this game. Gruff on the outside, takes the contact, carries on, picking up 4 more points. Meanwhile, Roseblade being recycled back up to turn 2 by Gentle. As Gruff just feeling the air now, just as we come into the dying embers of this jam. Both jammers will be feeling the heat.
Certainly feeling something as Roseblade's taken down to the ground with a back block from Gruff. Gruff now gone to the penalty box, which gives a Roller Derby City power jam for Roseblade at the end of this period, which will continue on into the start of the second period as we have run out of time in the game here so far. Ending on 172 to Barrow Infernos, 48 to the Super Smash Bros. Let's have a look at that. Beautiful work. Wonderful. Gruff staying on his feet after that clattering with Jardine. Yeah,
great work indeed. So we'll be back very soon. You've got time to get that kettle on, get a cup of lovely Yorkshire tea, or maybe enjoy a nice cold refreshment. Who knows what you plan for the next 15 minutes. We'll see you all very soon here at Men's European Qualifier. Don't go anywhere, but if you do, be back here. Ta-ra for now. And welcome back to this second half here at Men's European Qualifier, the penultimate game here with the Barrow Infernos and the Super Smash Brawlers. Scores on the doors at this time, 172, place over 48, and Barrow will be starting this second period on a power jam, as Gruff will be starting from the box. Welcome one and all if you are joining us on the live stream. Thank you for putting the pennies in and listening to our tones of voices as we have delivered some Excelsior European roller derby for your viewing pleasure. If you've watched from America and around Europe town, we thank you. Stay tuned, because not only do we have penultimate game right now, we have a final game, the first and second playoff of Lincolnshire Rolling Thunder coming up against Tyne and Fear, a game that'll be etched in history of Halifax. But looking at this game and looking what we've seen in the last first period, with Barrow picking up 19 lead jams to Nottingham's 4. Barrow with 5 power jams to Nottingham's 2. 23 jams were played during this first period. 28 points being picked up by Jardine and 9 points being picked up by Goff. That's the highest point scorers from both jammers from Barrow and Nottingham. So hello, Holly. Welcome.
Thank you. I've always been here. We'll just give a quick shout out to one of the teams who's now finished for this weekend, Mannequin Beasts, who have also shown their support and said thank you to all the supporters coming from all over the world. It's always nice to see your efforts paying in sweat, smile and soon beer. They're staying around though to cheer on both Lincolnshire and Tyne and Fear in the next game, and they hope to see us all at the next MEQ.
Absolutely, and we're about to get things underway here with Princess Leia jamming for the Barrow Infernos on this power jam. Princess Leia just being taken off on the inside by Larking About. Duke of York going on the offense, trying to stretch the Smash Brawlers wall. And Princess Leia is your lead jammer as we roll into this jam. Jardine going on the offense of Fennin. Oh, and takes Fennin off with a big hit. Breaking apart that wall. Robert Rodriguez now awaits Princess Leia. Some big offense coming through from Barrow Infernos. Some penalties are dealt out, and it looks like Larking About is on the way to the penalty box.
Ooh.
But out of the penalty box and out of the pack is Gruff and hunting for points.
Yeah, that was a super hit there. Well timed, well executed. Didn't even lose his crossover stride throwing that shoulder and hip in.
Yeah, Gruff has some skills, but the scores on the door show that Barrow are well in front as we're just looking at a replay now with that big hit by Jardine, taking Fennin off track and breaking apart that wall of Super Smash Brawlers. So 181 playing 48, and we've had the first jam done.
Up now on the slick, not just quick jammer line, we're seeing Roseblade. It's going to be playing off against Dr. Robloknik.
Roseblade now coming against that free wall, takes the pip off from Gentle, and the recycle back is happening. Looks like Gentle's running into penalty trouble though. So that's in the penalty box. Special K takes it some of the forward. Roseblade hitting the outside. Dr. Robloknik still unable to come through as Roseblade becomes your lead jammer into this next jam for the Barrow Infernos. Dr. Robloknik meanwhile coming up against one to deal with. That's Speedy. Roseblade already through the Super Smash Brawlers pack. As Dr. Robloknik is out, gets the call off from the bench, and it gets shut down. So 185 plays 48, and Barrow Infernos very much in control with 27 minutes and 50 seconds left to play.
We'd like to give a shout out to Slick, Not Just Quick, One Bearing for All, who are here over this weekend, but also available online. Check out Slick, that's Slick with a Q, S-L-I-Q.
And Jardine coming up against Shawshank Redemption. Jardine skips the inside and breaks on through to the other side. Picks up your lead jammer. Meanwhile, Shawshank Redemption hunting down Jardine. Both jammers coming through. Super Smash Brawlers wall again broken apart. 2 at the front, 2 at the back, with Barrow taking the 4 in the middle. Our producer yet again helping with the stats and helping with the information we need. If only you could hear what she was saying. But looking at that replay and looking at the hop, skip and the jump from Jardine. So Barrow Inferno is very much in control of this game thus far. We're
going to see Gruff take on Princess Leia. Barrow again, they do tend to sit back on the Nottingham jammer at the very start of each jam. Space on the inside, Gruff spins around twice, is through but not lead, and in fact is recycled back behind that pivot line. Lead jammer going to Princess. Oh my words! That was a knees up apex jump from Gruff.
Knees up, Mother Brown. We've just seen a leap. Princess Leia calling it from the floor, taking the contact, big contact from the Super Smash Brawlers. And the jam will reset, but just as you said earlier, Holly, great leap. Again, Gruff doesn't need a lot of room to build up momentum, and we just saw it just then in effect. So 192 now plays over 49, and we've got Roseblade and Dr. Roblotnik lining up. Dr. Roblotnik jamming for the second time in this second half.
A rather extended hug there from the two gentlemen on track.
There's nothing wrong with extended hugs.
Nothing at all. It's great to see.
That's how I got banned from Morrison's. But back into the action, Dr. Roblotnik coming up against Roseblade.
Roseblade just taking his time. He was knocked out. I think he just wanted to make sure his hips were behind. Now pushing around, getting low. Trying to push back in. Smash Brawlers having recycled back around now.
Dr. Roblotnik just trying the outside, gets that shut down, recycling happening. Dynamo takes him all the way back, but there goes Roseblade, there goes your lead.
Yeah, a little bit of assistance there from Defcon John just at the front to stop the rotation from the Smash Brawlers. When they do that rotation, it is so solid. Oh, wow, really good work there. Just a little help from Special K to clear that inside line for Dr. Roblotnik to break. But scoring for Roseblade picks up 4 points for the Barrow Infernos, and they are just 4 points away from 200, that double century.
But meanwhile, Super Smash Bros. Being hit on that 49 for a few jams now. They'll really have to change it up. If they really need to get back into this, they really need to start getting them points on the board. 196 plays over 49, 24 minutes left to play in this second half.
In 6 jams, the Super Smash Bros. Has only scored 2 points, and that's for this period.
Meanwhile, Jardine breaks on through to the other side, picks up your lead. Shawshank Redemption being held at the back, trying to spin away from the Barrow Infernos. It doesn't happen this time. And Jardine is already at the back of the blue wall and is through for the 5 points picked up. As Shawshank Redemption still being held, but the Barrow wall has been broken apart. The Colonel just trying to help out his bearded brother. And just being held onto 10-4. Shawshank Redemption skips through on the toe stops, gets past Duke of York. Couple of bodies just hitting the floor there. As Jardine is out of the pack, sees also Shawshank Redemption coming up, shuts the jam down.
Yeah, very clever. Really good timing here from Barrow. They do have their mirror bench, and let's just have a look. A lovely dive, spin around the inside around Fenin. And yes, they have cracked through 2 centuries of points.
Yeah, 205 plays 49, and we've got 23 minutes left of this second half to play. Gruff against his arch nemesis, Princess Leia.
They have fielded against each other for majority of this game. Gruff this time, the victor in gaining lead.
Yeah, Princess Leia meanwhile just trying to tiptoe their way around the pack. Still got Gentle to deal with, but there comes the offense from Dynamo. The speed's picked up. Princess Leia gets taken down, but as the Gentle, so right back into the action. Gruff, meanwhile, glides 1 foot, shimmy, sives through the pack, and picks up the 4 points and closes the jam down, which means the Smash Brawlers break through the half century. 205.
That was an exact replica, sorry Bear, an exact replica of that first jam, with Gruff getting lead over Princess Leia and picking up 4 points and calling.
Yeah, we just saw the replay there of Princess Leia just into the floor, and also just, as you can see, Gruff coming to the back of that pack. But you're absolutely right, Holly. Just exactly the same as the first jam from the first period. As we roll into this next jam of Dr. Roblotnik coming up against Roseblade.
Roseblade going far out and then back to the infield, trying to split that wall apart. He is successful, and lead jammer now with Barrow Infernos.
Roseblade just trying to just feel their way through to coming back to the pack. Dr. Obloknik, meanwhile, still trying to break out to start that initial pass. Fennin just trying to hold the offense. Gets a bit of contact, hits the deck. Dr. Obloknik, meanwhile, on the toe stops, fighting their way through. Gets some contact from Dynamo, but able to ride it out as Roseblade comes through, picking up 5 points.
What's interesting about Roseblade, when he broke on this pass, he actually turned around to have a look to see what was happening with the Smash Brollers jammer before he listened to his bench telling him just to go get points.
Yeah, constant communication, constant dialogue. It's what makes it all the more fun. Let's talk.
Talking is good. Talking is good here. I'm glad you're listening to us talking. Thank you for tuning in on the Derby Duck MEQ 2018 stream. It's a pleasure bringing these games to you guys. We've had a wonderful team of announcers over this weekend, and I hope you've all enjoyed tuning in and listening to us. Right now, we have got, that is Sean Shank Redemption trying to push through that wall at the back, but up at the front, spinning around that inside. Well, with those spins, it can only mean it's Jardine.
Absolutely, and the way goes Jardine. Sean Shank Redemption now being recycled back by Duke of York. Speedy also getting involved now. Sean Shank Redemption still got some work to do. The Colonel holding Jardine at this point. Jardine now hitting the inside, hitting the pace. Great footwork, and comes through for the full 5 points.
Yep. Managing to stay on balance after a hit and going around that apex backwards. Really good work there from Jardine.
Peter Parker, meanwhile, picking up the star for the Super Smash Brawlers. So Peter Parker will be trying to break on through. Nearly broken through on the last one, but got a lot of contacts from the Barrow Infernos, which took them off track. So a big recycle as now Peter Parker just trying to find their way through. Big hit from Duke of York, but Peter Parker back into play. Jardine, big leap from the 3 and the 4 turn, and is through. And also through is Peter Parker.
Yeah, that leap from Jardine actually gave a little inkling of space for Peter Parker just to sneak through on the infield, following him through. Come up to the end of that jam, and the Super Smash Brawlers held to 0 points. It's a decent sized jam there for the Barrow Infernos. Jardine, let's have a look at once more at that lovely spin. Stays on his feet, taking a few shoulder hits. In the meantime, Sean Shank Redemption just trying to really power through on the infield. Outfield.
Outfield, infield.
The field.
All the fields, grassy fields, cornfields, wheat fields. Don't run through them. You're not the Prime Minister. Gruff now coming up against Princess Leia into this next jam. Princess Leia, meanwhile, at the front, trying to break on through. Does so. Picks up lead jam. Gruff also through, but not lead. About a quarter of a track behind Princess Leia. Princess Leia skips past one and just shuts the jam down. I'll take the one.
Yeah, it's very flamboyant for a single point, but you know, every point does count. We are still looking at rankings going away from all of these games. So they'll certainly want to, each team will want to ensure that they have the best finishing score after this tournament, regardless of where they're placed, and if they take home either a medal or a trip to America, or if they just take home the experience of this weekend.
Absolutely. So just a shout out to our sponsors, Roller Derby City. You may have seen the officials, the volunteers wearing the splendid apparel that has been supplied by Roller Derby City here this weekend. Go check them out at www.rollerderbycity.com. You don't have to type in that full sentence into Google. Just type in Roller Derby City and it will come up for you. So check them out on the old Google, or other web searches are available. Ask Jeeves. Whatever happened to Ask Jeeves? Don't. It ruins the internet. So timeout draws to a close. We're about ready to get back into the action. 2-2-7 plays over 53. 18 minutes left to play. We've got Dr. Obloknik and Roseblade on the jam line.
We have indeed. It's nice as well to see still a very full audience here in Halifax, staying for this penultimate game. Of course, we do have another game following on from this. Do stay tuned. We will see Lincolnshire Rolling Thunder face off against Tyne and Fear.
Yeah, that will be one hell of a game. We hope you join us for that. And thank you for joining for this as Roseblade comes through, picks up lead. Smash Brollers losing a blocker to the penalty box. I believe that's Yannick on the way. Big hit. Taking down of Dr. Robloknik. Dr. Robloknik now being held by the free brace of Barrow as Roseblades fight their way through, trying to get past two blockers of Super Brollers. Gets past Gentle, last line of defense, but has to get down low because Gentle is there and aware. Dr. Robloknik being pipped off on the inside. Special K with a contact on Duke of York.
Oh, we have a sandwich there. Roseblade just got stuck in between those Smash Brawler players. Is that a star pass that's just occurred?
I believe it is, Holly.
That is our first star pass of the game.
Shawshank Redemption did a
It's
star
our
pass.
second star pass of the game. And it has resulted in a cutting penalty.
So that means Circle Jack is on the way to the penalty box. So the Roller Derby City Power Jam is in play for the Barrow Infernos. Roseblade side surfing, just trying to feel their way through. Oh, the contact meant that Roseblade nearly broke out.
I think he could have gotten back on as well. But being very cautious in this Power Jam. They don't need to push. They don't need to be fighting for the points.
No, the point spread is quite healthy at this time as the jam comes to a close. 2:40 now, 2:41, plays 53.
Let's have another look at that work by Roseblade, getting low under Gentle's hips. Does manage to take a nudge, but stays on feet and works around. What? Nottingham have not scored in the last 5 jams. They have been sat on 53. We're going to see Jardine, a breakaway lead jammer in this Roller Derby City power start.
Yes, absolutely. But Circle Jack is out of the penalty box and now coming up against the Barrow Inferno blockers. Penalty box is empty at this time. The sort of flat track is full of blockers, stopping Jardine and Circle Jack from breaking through. But Circle Jack does get through. Gets chased down by Dynamo, but is out of the pack.
Now, what I've seen very interesting is when we started off this game, we saw Nottingham with very settled formations and Barrow with the big hits. It seems to have slid around slightly. Barrow is still putting in big hits, but Nottingham is certainly giving as good as they get now at these heavy hits. And Barrow is settling back into those formations as well. So it's sort of a both tangents being pulled back together and giving us quite an interesting aspect now. We've had some very low scoring jams, so we're looking at difficulty for the jammers to get through. We're looking at the opposition jammer breaking quickly to force those call-offs, and basically it's just some good play.
Yeah, the jams haven't run for a huge amount of time. I think we've had a couple of 2-minute jams, but that's but no, no long jams, going on very quickly, done with. And we're looking at done with Gruff flying through, picking up lead. Princess Leia still getting some work to do, but trying to feel their way past Gentle, getting the offense as Gruff nearly stays on track, but runs into penalty trouble. So we got a Roller Derby City Power Jam in favor of Barrow and Princess Leia.
Gruff now sitting on 4 penalties, the highest number of penalties for the Super Smash Brawlers. Barrow Infernos have a couple of their blockers on 4 penalties.
Yeah,
the jammers are a little bit cleaner from the penalty perspective.
Yeah, Princess Leia hasn't picked up a penalty yet, and fouled out of the last game. So swings and roundabouts. Yeah.
Taking a different approach to this game, and that approach is from the outside to the in, gets the shoulders down, but is not able to get past.
Oh, and 5 penalties now picked up for Chob, so Chob on the 5. Oh, Gruff just dances their way through, spins away, and able to carry on the scoring run. Great work from Gruff.
Now that pirouetting, I'm afraid, only gets you the 5 points, as opposed to doing it maybe on a Strictly Come Dancing, you might get a 7.
Gruff now chasing down Princess Leia.
A very diluted pack right now. 3 and 2 as both jammers go in. Oh no! That is a cutting penalty issued on Gruff. I was about to say he's done really well to stay on one foot, but clearly he hasn't either stepped outside or rolled over that line. And now Gruff is sat on 5 penalties, as well as handing a Roller Derby City Power Jam over to Princess.
Yeah, also just running, it looks like Singletron's running into penalty trouble as well. Also on the way to the penalty box. So 255 plays 61 as Barrow Infernos hunt down the 200-point split. We're just looking at a replay now of Gruff coming through, and look at that dip and spin away. It really was Strictly Come Skating. Now, if you had Strictly Come Skating, who would be your top 3 skaters that you'd have quickly?
Oh, I don't know.
Alien Al.
If you have to.
Gruff.
And Lady Trample.
Well, no, here really. I was going to say about here. But.
Alien Al. Nomad's been really good at the spins and the jumps and the height differences, so I think he'd make a very good Strictly Come Skating skater.
Who would you have as your Strictly Come Skating top 3? Why don't you email us in or message us on the old MRD Facebook page?
That was the highest scoring jam for both teams with 10 on an 8.
So that previous jam is the highest scoring jams from both sides. 13 points for Barrow Infernos, 10 points for Super Smash Brollers. They're on 63 points. Barrow Infernos 258, and we're paused with 12 minutes and 9 seconds left in this game as this official review is taking place. It's been called by Super Smash Brollers, who currently have their jammer in the penalty box. So I'm making a wild assumption that that's what they want to break.
Absolutely, they don't want it because I think, as you said, Holly, 5 penalties now picked up by Gruff, so 2 away from saying ta-ra. They don't want that. They want to try and keep Gruff on because he has been one of the most consistent jammers for Super Smash Brollers, not just this game, but throughout the weekend. And a big thanks for helping us out this weekend is the MRDA Men's Roller Derby Association. So MEQ 2018, hosted in conjunction with the MRDA. We'd also like to thank them for their support this weekend. The top 2 teams will take the final spaces, which we now know are LRT and Time and Fear at MRDA Champs. 12 to 14th October, that's where it's all going down. 3 days of roller derby action in Salem, Oregon, USA, hosted by MRDA and Bridgetown Roller Derby. So if you're going out there, have a great time. Make sure you dress appropriately for the weather of that time of year as well. And also, while we're throwing out the thank yous, we've also got to say a big thanks to Manchester Roller Derby for hosting and organising MEQ 2018. Hosting an event is no easy task, and a lot of work has gone in, not just from the track maintenance, but getting the officials involved, making sure that we've got all the seats for everybody. It really has been a big event to host, and they've done it admirably. A big shout out to Selena Vile, who has helped and really been the linchpin of this organising team. And also a big thank you to all the announcers that have been here this weekend. In particular, Very Cherry, who is a very accomplished producer, who has thrown stats and facts at us like a magician, chucking a deck of cards in our face and screaming, "Read this or I'm going to cut you."
The best game ever as a child was 52 card pickup, and that's the information we're getting right now from Cherry is along those lines. She's doing a wonderful job.
I'm sure you can hear her on the live stream yelling, and we're trying to remove her now. She just kicked the chair over.
She did not. We are not condoning any forms of chair-related violence, this game or otherwise.
Maybe not right now. But lining up on the slick, not just quick, jammer line is Jardine. Looks like the jam's about to get in play. We're not sure what the official review was, but I don't think Super Smash Brollers won it.
Well, we have Gruff still retained in the penalty box.
And we do have Jardine just trying to break it on through. One blocker left to deal with. Gets past the hips of Fennin and is out and is lead for this game. So points to be picked up as Gruff is out of the penalty box. And awaiting him, the 4 blockers of Barrow. 5 points picked up by Jardine. Tron also now released from the penalty box. Gruff trying to work through on the inside, coming up against Nomad. Lots of contact, great physicality from both Pivot and Jammer. And they are out and about. And Gruff is out looking for points. Out and about and having a dance.
Yeah, good work there. Nomad was trying to pull off a thigh block at the very end there, just trying to hold back Gruff with his thigh, but unfortunately just pushed a little bit too forceful. Gruff a little bit too strong just to hold back. First time out now on the jammer line, the slick, not just quick jammer line for Speedy for Barrow Infernos. Speedy Gonzalez up against Sean Shank Redemption, and Speedy straight up that inside line, picking up a lead jammer. The crowd really behind him. He's got a massive smile on his face.
Yeah, he seems happy to be out there, just living his best life. Speedy now just being taken out. Gentle goes for the recycle. As Sean Shank Redemption still trying to break it out. Roseblade gets the contact, takes out on the inside. Direction penalty being assessed to Roseblade. Speedy, meanwhile, comes through, picks up the 5 points. Shawshank Redemption is out of the pack and looking for points. A bit of contact going through for the Super Smash Brawlers. Brock, who's going in for the offense. Jam rolls to an end.
And we're finishing that jam just as we come into 10 minutes left of this game. 272 points for Barrow Inferno, 63 for Super Smash Brawlers. The official review that was a couple of jams back, we have been given the details. Blue team wanted their jammers cut rescinded, saying they weren't given enough chance to seed. The referees determined that the jammer was making a concerted effort to stay in bounds and wasn't trying to seed. The cut call stands.
It happens.
Don't mess with our refs.
Yeah, or they'll key your car. So Robert Rodriguez in the penalty
Metaphorically.
box. So Super Smash Brawlers down 1 blocker. Barrow Infernos down 2 blockers. As Dr. Oblotnik just trying to fight on through. Princess Leia out at the same time, but it's Princess Leia who just picks up lead.
Very close though, both jammers racing around. Princess Leia able to increase the distance, however, between himself and Dr. Oblotnik. Goes in heavy, were the points retained. 0 for the Smash Brawlers. And 2 points for Barrow Infernos.
Yeah, 274 plays over 63. A point spread of 211 points. And we're now looking at Gruff and Jardine on the jammer line. 3 blockers on for Barrow and 4 blockers on for SSB.
Gruff going straight into that triangle, pushing it into his own wall and using that as the break point. Lead jammer for the Smash Brawlers.
Yeah. 8 minutes left to play. Gruff now coming round to the free wall of the Barrow Infernos.
Gruff racing through, diving side to side. Oh, really good work at juking Chob out, but racing through along that inside line. Jardine barely having to break, pause, or take a breath before he picks up points in retaliation. Oh, Gruff gets really low, just taken down to the ground, recycles himself back. That Barrow wall is split apart, comes together very quickly, but cannot stop the Gruff.
Oh, you got a low center of gravity in that contact. Just fighting on through to the other side. Jardine still behind Gruff by about a quarter of a lap. As Gruff's coming back into the action. 8 points apiece so far. Gruff now dealing with the blockers of Barrow. Defcon John being taken to the floor. Duke of York going for the hit. And hips are spinning and being called off.
It's a good jam there by the Super Smash Brawlers. They managed to retain their authority, getting 12 points over 9. Gruff being the only player for Super Smash Brawlers to pick up lead jammer in this half. It does look like their tactics as well is that they are aiming for that century.
Yes, I was just thinking the same thing. 25 points away, and they have got 7 minutes to do it. So we'll see how that pans out for them.
On the flip side, Barrow 287, so they are close to getting a triple century. And they are fielding Speedy Gonzalez one more time. Speedy very effective the first time that he jammed. This is now his second jam in this game. Super Smash Brawlers now trying to lock him down, not making the same mistake they did the first time. Uses his pivot just to smash through as a battering ram and lead jammer the Barrow Infernos.
Yeah, great lead jam. Great work from Speedy. And we're just seeing now Peter Parker just being held at the back. Nomad, who hasn't jammed this second half, is being kept as a blocker and doing great work as well.
Yep, he's pivoted quite often, but as you said, Bern, not worn the star. Instead, they are fielding Speedy Gonzalez, who's done a blinder of a job, getting 100% lead jammer every time he's out, and is currently now 10-point jam, just 3 points behind the triple century. Can he take that home to his team?
Yeah, Peter Parker just getting some contact. Roseblade going in with a hit. Looks like someone's running into penalty trouble. That is Nomad.
So cutting penalty issued to Peter Parker, who now takes a seat in the penalty box, having taken that star pass. And this is a Roller Derby City Power Jam that's taken Barrow Infernos over 300 points.
Yep, they have slapped through the triple century, and Speedy just being taken off on the outside by Fennin, and Speedy calls it from the floor.
19-point jam, which is the biggest jam in this half for Barrow Infernos. 20 points, they get it even bigger. Extra point on there, 307 points to 75.
Yeah, with 5 minutes left to play. We can see Fisher just on the inside of the flat track, calling a timeout for Barrow Inferno. So a team timeout call. Just leaves me to say a big thank you to Northbridge Leisure Centre, where we're hosting MEQ. And we can also see right now Princess Leia striking a pose. There's nothing to do it, you just do it, Vogue. And that top shrinks ever so more. And you just see the Super Smash Brollers bench there, just taking a bit of time and just to reset on this timeout. Don't forget, we do have one more game coming up. So don't go anywhere.
Do not go anywhere. If you have been watching this weekend, you'll know that that is going to be one heck of a game to watch. It's going to feature the two teams who are currently vying for the top position. Basically, we're playing for gold and silver in that next game. Cool. And we do have the medals to match.
Yes, we've seen the medals. We may have attempted, we've tried. We've done a safety check of the medals.
Safety check of them, like you did a safety check of the cucumber on day one. That's ME Cucumber, hashtag ME Cucumber. A cucumber thief was apparent day one yesterday.
There was nothing proven, but we did realize it was battered sausage. But on track right now, Dr. Obloknik is out and lead, and that is the first time, other than Gruff, who has picked up lead for Super Smash Brawlers. And Nomad comes flying out of the penalty box, jumps in front of Dr. Obloknik like, "Arr, got ya."
Yeah, and it worked. Obloknik taken down to the ground, bounced back up very quickly, but is still now facing off against Nomad. Just seems to be all over Gruff right now. Sorry, Dr. Obloknik right now.
Circle jerk on the way to the penalty box. Pivot lost for Super Smash Brawlers. Princess Leia out of the pack, but Princess Leia runs into the first penalty of the day for them. And it is a high block penalty, so Dr. Obloknik on a Roller Derby City Power Jam. At Super Smash Brawlers, big hit from Chop, which sent Dr. Obloknik to the floor, and Dr. Obloknik making contact with Nomad and sending Nomad to the floor, which now means that Dr. Obloknik is on the way to the penalty box. So one jammer enters, one jammer leaves, and now it's Barrow Inferno's Power Jam.
It's not the Thunderdome in Mad Max.
Yes, it is. We don't need another hero.
Just a penalty
box.
One. We've got many heroes. Heroes on track right now, still fighting it out in this penultimate game in MEQ 2018. Princess Leia picking up the first set of points in this jam for himself after 90 seconds.
Yeah, great work. Princess Leia now working with the four blockers of Super Smash Bros. Gentle taking Princess Leia down to the floor. Chop going in for a big hit, doesn't pay off. Gentle didn't even need to pick up the pace then, just like a little glide going, you're all right.
Living up to his name. No drama, just I'm blocking you now.
Dr. Ronnie being recycled back, but that is the jam.
And a big hug from Princess to Gentle at the end of that jam, rounding it off. 2 minutes 45 as you saw on the clock. Let's have a look one more time, seeing Princess diving through, round the inside, a really good shrug off, but followed through as well by Dr. Robloknik. We're going to see Gruff now.
And jamming for the first time in this game is Dynamo. And Dynamo getting taken to the floor by Gentle. Gruff being taken to the floor. Duke of York awaiting Gruff. Dynamo hitting that inside, spins out, and picks up a cutting penalty. So Dynamo goes for a sit down as Gruff picks up the Roller Derby City power jam.
Yeah, it's one that an experienced jammer might have picked up on the fact that the lead jammer whistle hadn't been given whilst he was out as far forward from the pack as possible. At that point, you must be thinking, I need to do something. I need to get back up and make myself in a viable playing position. With Dynamo, first jam, not a regular jammer for Barrow, may not have picked up on that giveaway.
No, but Gruff, meanwhile, hunting down that century, calls the jam off. So 314 plays up at 94.
They're getting close to that century. So replay here where we see Gruff come around the outside. Lovely diving effort to get away.
If you've enjoyed our commentary, I'm sure you have, then don't forget to check out Roller Derby Duck online. Big thank you to them. Big thank you to everyone who has helped out this weekend.
We're being entertained by pictures of cats or foxes from Cherry, our producer. Just trying to keep our morale up high. Not our morals, our morale up high. We've been here all weekend. It's been a fantastic tournament to be a part of. MEQ 2018, hashtag MEQ 2018. Let us know what you're doing and how you're enjoying the feed. Where are you viewing it from? We'd love to know. We do know we have people viewing in Europe and the US. But if you are out and about, let us know. We're going to round up the last few minutes of this game. In fact, the last 85 seconds of this game on the period clock. Lead jam going to Gruff of the Super Smash Brollers. He's definitely been one of their most effective jammers.
Yeah, Gruff really pushing on that free wall. Dynamo out of the penalty box. Now trying to break that wall apart. Tron trying to get the recycle. But Dynamo runs into penalty trouble yet again.
Oh dear.
A back block penalty. Dynamo not too impressed about that, but it does happen.
He's getting a misconduct as well, so that's going to make it a full minute sat in that penalty box. That will run us out this period if Gruff decides to carry on, which I'm almost certain he will do.
Yeah, and there goes the century for the Smash Brawlers. 314 to 103 as it stands. Gruff coming back around. Now Barrow Infernos looking to shut it down. Gruff trying to break through. The good old chance of the SSB is happening. And the jam rolls to an end.
We do have seconds left on the clock, and very quickly a timeout has been called by Super Smash Brawlers. They have hit that century, as we said, and they picked up 12 points in that jam. 106 points to the Barrows 314. Let's have a look one more time at that recycle. Oh, everybody's getting thrown everywhere.
I just seen an NSO just get thrown into the bleachers. Not really though, that wouldn't happen.
You know what I mean.
Just seeing now the the Super Smash Brawlers. Robert Cornelius looks very upset about something. Maybe wanted to jam. Maybe Robert wanted to jam. Well, I'm sorry, Robert, but you didn't.
It reminded me of that John Travolta meme where he's not quite sure where he is. Just having a quick look around. We do love you.
John Travolta.
Robert Quadriguez,
Who's tuned in?
a previous announcer.
Can someone tell us why Robert's upset? So if you has something gone wrong for Robert?
We may interview him later and find out. In the meantime, on the slick, not just quick jammer line, starting on a Roller Derby City power start, we have Dr. Robloknik for the Super Smash Brawlers, as Dynamo is continuing his double penalty in the penalty box, standing just now, so we've only got a few more seconds. Can Dr. Robloknik get around? He stumbles up, and Roseblade is able to just hold him a little bit longer for that recycle to happen. And the lead goes.
It does indeed. Dr. Robloknik flying out, picking up lead, second lead for Dr. Robloknik. But Dynamo out the penalty box and out of the pack, and the pack is spread all over the straightaway. As Dr. Robloknik gets pipped off, shuts the jam down.
And that will be all the time that we will allow to gameplay. You just hold on for one moment. We're going to have a look to see if we can officialize these scores. As you can see, points going on even as we talk about it. But my word, Bear.
It really was great last few jams from Super Smash Bros. Actually show us what they can bring to the party. And even though the games didn't work out in their way as they hoped, they played a great game. 3-1-4 plays 1-1-0. The final score, Barrow Infernos pick up the 4th place. Super Smash Brawlers, unfortunately, down at the bottom.
So far we are looking at the teams who are ranked 5th, 4th and 3rd currently, are in the same positions that they started this tournament in. So no surprises so far. Let's see if this final game can bring you more surprises. Stay tuned, as we're going to take on through to the last game of MRDA European Qualifiers 2018, which is going to see Lincolnshire Rolling Thunder take on Tynanfear, both teams already having qualified to head on through to the MRDA champs.
Absolutely, they'll be playing for 1st and 2nd. So from me, Roller Polar Bear.
From me, Holly, and from the lovely Cherry.
Don't forget, we're all #blessed, and it's been great to have you all. We'll see you soon.